The shuttle doors hissed open, and every student in the Deadliest girls' class turned to look. The class was famous across the academy, whispered about in corridors and flagged in training simulations as a statistical impossibility. No male cadet had ever lasted a full week inside it. Some had transferred out, some had been hospitalized, a few had quietly vanished from the records, reassigned or erased to preserve the academy's reputation. And now a human boy walked in. His name was Eli. He was smaller than most of the students in the room, softer in build, wearing a standard gray uniform instead of the reinforced combat suits the others preferred. His hair was dark and untamed from shuttle travel. His eyes moved slowly, calmly, taking in the room without fear. Then he smiled. It was not a grin of arrogance. It was not mockery. It was the quiet, genuine smile of someone pleased to be somewhere new. That smile unsettled everyone. The Deadliest girls' class was made up of the academy's most dangerous cadets, selected from species known for combat superiority. There was Vela, whose reflexes were so fast she could strike before sensors registered movement. There was Rin, who could bend training steel with her bare hands. There was Lu, whose mind could fracture an opponent's focus with a glance. They had been trained since childhood to dominate battlefields. And this human boy smiled at them. Instructor Hale watched from the back, arms folded, expression unreadable. He had approved the transfer himself, despite protests from the council. Humans were new to the academy, still studied more as an anomaly than a standard species. Their biology was unremarkable, their strength average, their senses dull compared to others, but they kept surviving things they were not meant to. Eli took his assigned seat without hesitation. The chair was reinforced for heavier bodies, yet he adjusted it easily. When Vela leaned close, her shadow falling over him, he looked up and nodded politely. "Hi," he said. The word was simple. The effect was not. The first test came before the lesson even began. Rin dropped a training blade onto Eli's desk, deliberately misaligned so its edge would slip toward his arm. The blade was sharp enough to draw blood with a touch, Eli noticed. He moved the blade aside and placed it back in the center of the desk. "You dropped this," he said. No anger, no accusation. Rin frowned. The class grew quiet. The opening lesson was a simulated combat drill, designed to overwhelm. Each student was placed in a shifting environment filled with threats that adapted in real time. The goal was not victory, but endurance. Eli's platform lit up last. The simulation hit him with gravity fluctuations, heat spikes, and sudden sensory overload. His vitals spiked instantly. The monitors flared with warning colors. Several students watched with mild interest, expecting him to fail quickly. He did not. Eli stumbled, fell, got back up. He adapted his breathing, slowed his movements, conserved energy. When the terrain shifted beneath him, he did not fight it. He rolled, absorbed the impact, and used it to reposition. He was not winning. He was lasting minutes, stretched into an hour. Then 2. The other students began to glance at the timer, then back at Eli. When the simulation ended, Eli collapsed to one knee, chest heaving, sweat soaking his uniform. Instructor Hale stepped forward, ready to call for medical support. Eli looked up and smiled. "Good drill," he said. The second week was worse. The class tested him relentlessly. Sparring sessions became brutal. Team exercises somehow left him isolated. Equipment malfunctioned around him far more often than statistics allowed. Still, Eli showed up every day. He learned quickly. He asked questions. He thanked classmates after being knocked down. He apologized when he accidentally landed a strike that hit harder than expected. The girls of the class did not know what to do with him. Luma tried to break him mentally, weaving illusions into his peripheral vision, whispering doubts and fears. Eli faltered, eyes unfocused, hands shaking. Then he sat down. He closed his eyes, breathed slowly, and waited it out. Later, when asked how he resisted, he shrugged. "My people have loud minds," he said. "You learn to sit with the noise." During a live exercise, an unexpected system failure caused a containment field to drop early. A training drone went rogue. Its safety limits disengaged. It charged the nearest student. That student was Vela. She reacted instantly, but the drone was faster. Its strike would have shattered her shoulder. Eli moved. He did not think. He did not calculate. He stepped between them and took the impact across his back. The force threw him into a wall, hard enough to crack the surface. Alarms screamed. The drone was neutralized. Medics rushed in. Eli lay still for a long moment. Then he groaned. "I think," he said weakly, "I landed wrong." Vela stood frozen, staring at him. No one in the class had ever stepped in front of danger for another student without calculating the odds, without weighing the cost. Eli had not weighed anything. Recovery took days. When Eli returned, moving slower but still smiling, the atmosphere had changed. Seats shifted to make room for him. Training partners rotated to include him. When he struggled, hands reached out to help him up. On the final assessment, the class was given an impossible task: survive together against a scenario designed to break coordination and trust. They failed. Not because of Eli, because they tried to protect him. Eli noticed he stopped in the middle of the simulation, turned to them, and raised his hands. "I'm not fragile," he said. I'm here because I chose to be. They adjusted, they fought together, they survived. When the results were posted, the Deadliest girls class had achieved the highest collective score in Academy history. Instructor Hale watched Eli walk out of the room, laughing softly with the others. Humans, he thought, were not the strongest. They were not the fastest. They were something far more dangerous. They smiled at the impossible, and then they endured it.